This is the most powerful support ability ever added to Overwatch. An instant save with a repositioning tool to get you back to the high ground. Lifeweaver is insane. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Frito here for your Overwatch, and in today's video, we'll be taking a look at the new support hero, Lifeweaver, who has some insane new mechanics. First, we'll cover the basics. His primary heal, Healing Blossom, is a charge. You can see me charging it up to 65, and it's good to jiggle peek on a corner and to heal a teammate quickly. It will do 65 health, and it's not too strong. It kind of averages out to feel somewhat like a Harmony Orb, maybe a bit more, not too sure. But it is soft lock, so it's rather easy to hit. But overall, you're not going to expect to do too much healing with Lifeweaver, as his heal numbers are kind of low. But it's his other abilities that makes him insane. Unlike Mercy, who has a damage beam to apply while playing this defensively, Lifeweaver doesn't have anything like that. So in the middle of combat, when you're trying to increase your APM, I suggest putting down some suppressing fire with the Needler. This is on his alternate fire. As you can tell, the spread is quite bad on this. Not good at range, and frankly, not that good up close either. The damage per second on this is moderate. It's going to take you a long time to whittle down a squishy. Better if you hit headshots, so if you have a perfect duel, like in a hallway, the Needler can be effective, but for the most part, you're not going to expect to duel anything with Lifeweaver. That's not what this character is about. Lifeweaver also has a short dash on shift, which will give him a small amount of regeneration. It's called Rejuvenating Dash. It's a very small little bit of a heal, but useful to get around cover so you can enact your support passive. But I suggest, now this is where things get interesting when we start combining with the rest of his abilities. On his alternate fire, he has what's called the Petal Platform. Takes a moment to deploy and get ready, and any player, friendly or enemy, can step on this platform and then go all the way up, and now instant high ground. Insane combo potential with this, but also I'm going to say, while you're still learning the character, use this for self-peel, because what happens is, as you throw the petal out, your cooldown begins immediately. You can hide this somewhere. The enemy can attack it, but often it's kind of hard to see, especially if they don't really have a good line of sight on it. So you can use it as an escape path, and as you're starting to get attacked, do your dash right to the petal, move up, and use this as cover. The petal itself does have health, so it can be destroyed, but again, enacting that self-passive to get yourself some cover and get away, that can be a really good effective tool for staying alive. Also, of course, there's a lot of crazy combos you can do to give your Cassidy or Soldier high noon angles to see the entire map. Lots of combo potential there. You'll be seeing a lot of Reddit clips of that. There's another cool aspect of the petal where if you jump at the top, the apex of the height, it's going to launch you up. So it's a bit of a bounce pad as well, which is pretty cool. When using the petal, I'm going to suggest you do not throw it too deep out for the enemy. That was actually a pretty good one to disrupt a escape right at a doorway to lift them out. That's like a super clever use. Overall, don't throw it at the enemy because you don't know who's going to step onto it, even if you're trying to save a teammate, because instead you have a better ability to do that. I suggest using the petal defensively or in your backline to like lift up your Ana, Cassidy, etc., not offensively. This is the playstyle that I think you're going to find is going to be the most effective with Lifeweaver, where you're healing your team on a corner, playing safe, getting them up. When you need to escape or you want to set up a really cool escape path, get yourself on high ground and get a line of sight on a feeding teammate. You know who you are, teammates. The Cassidys, Reaper, Reinhardt's really good for this. As they go in and get like one kill but are kind of, screwed out in the enemy's formation, you can pull them up to the high ground to get into your line of sight, out of line of sight of the enemy, heal them up, and then go again. This is the most insane part of Lifeweaver, where the enemy is going to blow a lot of cooldowns in order to nuke that target, and saving them at the brink of death is going to be a massive flip in value. Now, the cooldown is incredibly long on this, 20 seconds, very, very long, but the potential is above Suzu, in my opinion. You think Suzu's like the most powerful support ability you've ever seen? This is even better. It does not apply a cleanse, so a anti or TNT effect is going to remain on the target as they get warped to you, and if there is any obstruction, like any cover in the way, in the same way that like a Genji dash can get screwed by any bit of geometry, that can happen with this ability as well. But for the most part, saving them at the brink of death, getting out of the fight entirely and repositioning back to the high ground is so powerful that, like, I don't even think you need the cleanse personally. Maximizing the use of the grip is what's going to be the difference maker of this character, along with all the other setups you can do. But those are kind of difficult. This is very, very guaranteed, where you can do this over and over again and get a lot of value. It's like a soft reset tool as well. Oftentimes, like an Ana who's out stranded and can't get out in the middle of the fight, you can reposition her back to the high ground, or even up on top of your petals. Oftentimes pulling a character up to this high ground spot can be very good, where you can play up here and then get a teammate here, so you don't have to do the elaborate setup of, okay, here's my petal. Another trick you can do with the petal is to ping it where your team will see it, but it's going to take a while for teammates to realize what this symbol even means, to get used to using it. But the skill ceiling on this character is just absolutely insane. Now, for his last, he's got his ultimate, the Tree of Life. It deploys this big tree, which has a ton of HP, like a elaborate Maywall almost, where the enemy can destroy it and knock it down. It is going to block your pathing, so you can accidentally block your teammates or block the enemy in, and you can see it gives pulses of healing to your team. The Tree of Life ultimate is not as strong as some other support ults. There is a quick burst of health and then a bunch of pulses afterwards, so you can insta-burst someone up a little bit, but don't expect this to beat other ultimates. It's sort of a duration time over heal over time ultimate that's gonna like let you grind out an objective. I'd say that's the best place to put it, because you don't want the enemy to easily run away from it. It's very similar to Kitsune Rush in that way, where you want it in a spot where you're going to fight for a continued amount of time. So ideally not just like at the start of the fight, but like where you're gonna want to fight for the next 5 to 10 seconds, and then it can be pretty good. But most of Lifeweaver's ultimate interactions is going to be with his petal and his save, where if a Genji blade is coming at you, maybe jump up on top of the petal, save a teammate. Those are the really defensive options Lifeweaver has in order to interact with the ult fight. Lifeweaver's final ability is his passive, which is called Parting Gift, where on death, he drops a gift that heals the first enemy or ally to pick it up. Now, for an ally, it's like a mega health pack, and for an enemy, it's like a mini. It's that cute little flower there. Anybody can come pick it up, and that's part of like Lifeweaver's lore, where he's a bit of a pacifist if he could be. He even has voice lines about that, where if he could choose, he wouldn't want to fight at all. Overall, I think the ceiling of this hero is absolutely insane, potentially. In our testing so far, I think you're going to find that a lot of creators are not sold on this character, but I'll remind you that many of them weren't sold on Kiriko either, because when we playtest as creators behind the scenes, people really aren't maximizing the team comps or synergies. There's no rank points on the line, so there's a lot of comfort picks and mixed matchmaking going on in our pugs. I think ideally when we start to find the maximum potential and you play the actual combos with this character, you're going to find out that he's absolutely nutty. And good Lifeweaver play is going to do so much at every level of play, in my opinion, because at a high level, or even with a little bit of synergy, similar to like a Symmetra Teleporter, this can be team fight winning. Just a good petal setting up with an ultimate or something. That's number one. But number two, at all levels of play, but especially lower levels, your tank player especially goes in way too early, out of line of sight, and you don't know what to do as any character. Well, playing with a teammate like that, you can get onto high ground and force his positioning back to you. And while that's like sort of a weird value to have, but doing that well is going to really provide a lot of stabilization to your team, which was just never an option for support players before. So that is incredibly powerful in my opinion. Now, while his stats on his heal and damage are not insane, those abilities to kind of control the repositioning game and do a lot of tech, like if you are a game sense style support, whether you play Mercy, Lucio, Brigitte, this is another support for you that you can control a lot of the game by just using your brain, really, because there's not really any aiming component, because the Needler is so inaccurate anyway. I would say even probably, I think Mercy's pistol is better than the Needler, but it's something to do while you're setting up everything else. I'm excited to play Season 4 with the new character. Let me know your thoughts on Lifeweaver in the comment section down below. Do you think this is a good addition to Overwatch? We'll have plenty more content coming up in the days coming, so be sure to hit the video with a like and click subscribe and the bell icon to actually get notified when our videos come out. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.